Now, many YouTubers, including myself, have built a lot of hand truck systems. It's a solar power system on a hand truck cart. You can buy these for like $70 like this one. You slap a battery on it, an all-in-one, and you're done. They're very simple, but I wanted to make one that was very cheap and very easy to build. Some of them are more complex, especially with the wiring. This one is as simple as I could possibly make it. The cables that connect the all-in-one to the battery come with the unit, and the input and the output, you can find these at Home Depot, so we'll cover that in a second. So first off, we have a 5 kilowatt hour battery down here, and this is by Trophy Battery. I chose this one because it has very large terminals. And these large terminals are very easy to work with large conductors when you have a single battery system. Also, it has a DC rated circuit breaker, so you don't have to add your own. You can connect the all-in-one directly to the battery. Now, even though this is a 48 volt battery, you can easily run 12 volt loads with this system, especially with this battery configuration. This extra terminal right here, positive and negative, can connect to a converter, and you can slap it right here on the top of the battery. Next, this battery has its own state of charge indicator, and on this display it shows you all of the cell voltages, the temperature, and everything else you need to know. So all I did is I slapped this battery on a hand truck, I used a commercial grade strap, and then I connected the negative and the positive to these two terminals right here. Now, these cables come with this unit, but it is a tight fit. You have to strip them yourself, shove them into the hole, and then tighten it down with a screwdriver. Next, I drilled 2 holes into the hand truck handle, and I added these machine screws to secure the all-in-one. Now, to charge or discharge with this inverter, you need to have 2 separate types of cables. First of all, you need an AC input cable, and it's going to look like this. You can buy it from Home Depot, and it comes stripped and ready to add to this unit. You just shove it inside, and then you screw it down with the terminals. For the AC input, you have a ground, a line, and a neutral. So just shove it in there with the right color and then tighten it down. Now, this cord powers the AC charger, so if I were to plug this into a house outlet, what's going to happen is this battery is going to charge up. Now, to use the power from this unit, we need to have a surge strip. This is the easiest way to connect loads to the all-in-one unit, because you have 2 terminals down here for load and neutral, and then you connect the ground over here, or to the case of the unit. So, surge strips. You strip the cable, you're going to have a green, a black, and a white. The green is the ground, the black is the line, and the white is the neutral. So I connected this surge strip, so once this is turned on, I can run loads off of this battery. So very simple. You just have an input and an output. And if I turn it on, we will have power. Check that out. Now, this system can easily run a refrigerator or whatever you want, really. You can run mini splits, you can run a water distillation system, you can run lights. Now, the only thing you need to know about safety is when you build this system, whenever you mess with any of these terminals or you mess with the battery terminals, you need to shut the battery off. So disconnect power by flipping the switch to the off position. Also, do not connect solar panels until the last minute, and preferably at night when they're not generating power. So if there's no power coming from the battery and no power coming from the solar panels, you should be good to go. And obviously, do not plug this into the grid while you're working on it. I figured that's a given, but yeah, just to go over every possible scenario. So turn everything off, connect 2 cables, connect 2 cords, and you're pretty much done. Now, the last part is the solar, and this is the PV input right here. When you connect conductors to these terminals, everything again needs to be shut down. Now, to charge this battery with the built-in solar charge controller, these terminals need to have 120 volts DC and a maximum of 500 volts DC. So you're gonna have to put multiple solar panels in series to create this voltage. I recommend most people stick with 400 watt solar panels and put at least 3 into series. And then that way you'll know that this will always be able to charge. It will always create a voltage high enough for it to charge this battery. And that's 1200 watts. So 1200 watts minimum for this size battery is fantastic. You'll have a very useful system that you can run every single day. But if you can add more, by all means do so. Also, if you want another battery, you can easily add one to this system. Not only is the battery scalable, but so is this. If you want to add a second unit to run 240 volt loads, you can have a 6,000 watt output. Or you could have a larger 6,000 watt 120 volt output. And you can have communication with certain batteries. So this thing works with everything. It's very useful. It's actually the best all-in-one that we've ever reviewed because everything worked on the first try. It was incredible in my first review video, and that thing got over 1 million views. Now the PV input, the maximum voltage, you need to calculate on your own because every solar panel is different. So if it says 50 volts, that means you can connect 10 of them in series to this unit because you won't exceed 500 volts. If you're in a very cold climate, I would drop that down a little bit to 9 panels in series and leave it at that. But as long as you have at least 3 panels, you'll be good to go. And a lot of people, that's all you need for this size system. Now this hand truck I actually bought from Harbor Freight today for $70. Look how nice it is. It fits it perfectly. Especially this all-in-one is the same width, and this fits perfectly without touching the wheels. And it's nice. I can't believe I found this. It's perfect. Now this excess cable you can easily wrap around this handle on top too. Now you might be wondering why not buy an ecoflow Delta Pro? Mainly because of cost. This thing is about $3,700. This thing is $700 and $1,500. Okay, and all the cords right here, this was less than $20 at Home Depot. Oh, and the hand truck was $70, but that's it. And this surprisingly has a lot of features as the ecoflow Delta Pro. If you use an EG4 battery and communication with this unit, this thing has its own app and all sorts of other special features like that one has. Also, this has more capacity for less money. This has 3,600 watt hours and this has 5,000 watt hours. This is more scalable. You can add more batteries as you please, or you can actually build your own batteries for very cheap with raw cells if you want. You could actually get the whole cost of this system to less than half of an ecoflow Delta Pro, and it's more powerful. The max PV input voltage on the ecoflow is 150 volts DC. This thing is 500 volts. So you don't have to put a bunch of panels into parallel like you do with the ecoflow. Also, this will turn on the inverter when solar power is available. This does not do that yet. So we're still waiting on a firmware update, but I haven't seen it yet. Next, this is already built and that's very convenient, but this thing took me like 25 minutes to make. I mean, come on, it's just 2 holes drilled up here, 2 cables, and that's it. A strap, and that's all. Now, if you want to run 12-volt loads, this actually has that built in, so that's very convenient. But if you have a converter, you can run large 12-volt loads. You could easily add a 60-amp converter and run much larger loads than this thing. You cannot scale this in that manner. Also, if you want to put 2 of these together in parallel for a split phase output, you're not going to be able to charge electric vehicles. This one, you can easily do that. You can scale this to any size you wish. I think you can put like 8 or 9 of these into parallel. So yeah, pretty much any size array, any size battery. You can make this stationary. You can put this against a wall. You can throw this into a closet. You can do everything with this small system. But it is larger than the ecoflow Delta Pro, so that's a huge downside of this system. But you can swap out components. If something goes wrong, you can swap this out. These are so cheap, you could buy 2 of them and leave one in like an EMP hardened bag or something. This one is more convenient, but it does cost more money. So it's really up to you. Now personally, just the PV input voltage alone, I would choose this over that because this is a real size solar array that can be connected to this. You can put a lot of solar panels on the ground, you can have a ground mount, you can put them on your roof, and you can connect it to this. If you have them on your roof and you're trying to connect them to this, you're gonna have all these wires putting all the panels in parallel down to this unit. And the maximum solar that you can connect to this is 1,600 watts. This thing is 5,000 watts. So there's no comparison here. This is a real system. And this is, I don't want to say anything mean. It's good, it works. It's just very limited in power. Now the only downside to my system is it's a 3,000 watt inverter. This one has a 3,600 watt inverter. And that's the only stat that I could find that this one beats this. But for everything else, this is better and it's at a better price. And you don't have to use this battery or this all-in-one. You can use whatever you want. I think this is the best combination. You have these big terminals, unlike the other EG4 batteries, and this thing is fantastic because of the high input voltage. This is a match made in heaven. And if you had a converter right here, you could easily throw this into an RV or run a cabin or whatever you wish. Now this is a very simple system, but it has updated components. Last year I did one with a grow watt, and I don't like grow watt at all. So having one of these and a trophy battery is just super cool. So yeah, everybody could build this. It's cheaper and better in every single way. So I hope you liked the video, and please let me know what you think below. I'm gonna have a new page for a parts list for this in blueprint pictures. So please let me know if there's any questions you have, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.